Take up the following item for approval. Item 1A is approval of the minutes of November 16, 2022, that meeting. I'll move approval of item 1A. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, any amendments to that?
Well, just a
Dave?
question, were we ever gonna get a copy of the PowerPoint? There was a PowerPoint shown to us, but it wasn't available is the PowerPoint gonna be eventually or something?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't,
Because it wasn't available in the meeting and then it wasn't in the meeting, in the
No,
minutes.
from the November meeting. We'll work with them and see what we can
Good.
get out to you.
Good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining? The minutes are approved. With no policy items on the agenda, let's address the information items. 2A is the ERP overview. And our Vice Chancellor for Information Technology and University CIO will present the item. And to refresh everyone's recollection, we are talking about not the entire thing, but what will be seen, well, first, what the timetable is for this. When can we expect to see, some motion on this? And the second thing is, of particular importance to me and some of the other members of this committee, I would think to all of them, is, we have concerns about public access to things that we do, like budgets and procurements. Will that be visible in the new iteration? No one has to show us a picture of it, but, just a sense of where we're going on that, because those are concerns that, that we all have as members. So I'll ask Seb Formoso to address item 2A.
Okay, so, the resounding answer to your question is yes, that our new system will allow us to display publicly just about anything we want to display. It comes with a fairly sophisticated portal capability where we can display dashboards or any information. And the capability that it comes with, once deployed, is not necessarily going to require the owner of the data to speak to IT. The owner of the data will be able to place their data in the system for public access by the portal based on whatever predetermined schedule that particular part of the organization has determined, should that information be available to the public, whether it's annual, quarterly, or monthly. So if there's any concern about that, rest assured that the system has this capability.
Well, then let's be clear about it. So, and to be clear, I presume what you mean showing the data is our entire operating budget, our entire capital budget, all of our procurements can be seen on this thing without using a secret decoder ring to get in.
Yes.
That's my question. Professor Benton has a question.
Well, similarly, we discussed last time that department chairs and program directors would like to have access to up-to-date information about their own expenditures. And I assume the same structure can point inward too. It can allow a department chair to say, here's what I've spent thus far, here's where these personnel transactions are that I'm attempting to process, and have a dashboard about that.
At the specific, whatever level we define it, the answer is yes, absolutely.
This will be a real improvement.
Yeah, because if you ever tried to look up, or get a look at our current budget situation on CUNY First, good luck with that. So, looking forward to that, so that any member of the public, by the way, not only members of the board, but any member of the public, any interested member can go on a website. What's CUNY's budget? What's CUNY's budget in this college? What do CUNY's procurements look like this month, this quarter? If that's discoverable, that's a very big step forward.
One of the advantages of the system is its
I
transparency.
can't hear you, I'm sorry. What?
One of the reasons we're doing this is we bought something that gives us the capability to have that transparency.
That's good. That's good. Are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, we also discussed at the last meeting, you showed a chart in the PowerPoint that showed various consultative groups, that stakeholder groups that were going to be involved in the implementation and design. And I asked whether we could add a person in a particular set of stakeholders that was someone who was a department chair or program director or familiar with that level of activity, because those are the people that are delivering our our primary product, that is to say, classes to students, and providing the faculty and scheduling the faculty. And I thought there was a consensus to do that, but I don't know what's happened.
So we're currently working to finalize our negotiations with the primary vendor. And once that's completed, we're going to put in place the structure that we shared with you, Ned, including the campus liaison team, so it would include the members that you just described.
Well, the
But
ones
we have
that-
not started that process to build those teams yet, but we plan to do that.
Okay, I think there was a gap between what I saw on that sheet for liaisons and what I was advocating for. And I mean, I think we wanted someone not as a campus liaison, but as a member of the CUNY-wide planning team who was knee-deep or hip-deep in the actual experience of the system of budgeting and appointments and the workloads of chairs and program directors. Not at the campus. I mean, we could do it at the campus too, but at the central box where the decisions are being made at the planning level. And I thought that we agreed that that would be okay and that it would be something that we'd do, but maybe there was a misunderstanding.
Well, I mean, I think what, trustee, that's what the provost is for. The provost is the appointment to represent the faculty. Are you talking about the central office group? Because
talking
the
about
provost
the-
represents the academic side of the house.
Well, I'm talking about the consultative group that is dealing with the design of the system, system-wide, at the system-wide level, not as it's implemented at each site.
Well, as it was described, there are multiple layers, and within those layers, the voice that you're looking for, we agree will be there. The voice that you're saying, which is a faculty, someone from as a chair of the faculty, will be included in that. But at the central level office, our chief academic officer is a spokesperson for us in that regard.
Also, we have the Office of Academic Technology that is coordinating the faculty engagement in these different pieces. So I'm not sure exactly which one we're talking about
Yeah, I
here,
don't
but
know.
like, for example, with the LMS, there is deep engagement at the campus level with department chairs and different people who will be using the system. So I'm not sure which one we're, again.
Well, I'm talking about the ERP.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The
We're talking
resource management system.
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing.
You were talking about the learning
I
management.
was talking about something
Oh,
different.
you're
yeah,
talking
he's-
about, they're talking about the
And
ERP.
I- I-
At
That's
the-
why I said I
at
wasn't
the-
sure which one you
that
were
they-
talking about. I don't
You're
have-
doing a fine
At the
process
ERP,
with the learning management.
at the ERP, the provost also sits on on that,
Yes.
in her team.
Okay,
But-
and what I was saying, and then I won't say it anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but and that is that I think it would be very important to have someone involved who is intensely aware of and engaged with how this system will function for a chair or a department, a program director, who is, for example, actually going through a recruiting process to hire a faculty member, or actually appointing faculty to classes and dealing with all the turbulence that happens in the 4 weeks before the semester begins, when, reappointments are, all sorts of things happen. And for this to work well for the university, it's got to work well for them. They are our key managers of delivering the classes. And the administrative aspects of getting that done. And so I'm hoping that there's someone there who is really defending their concerns.
Well, we hear you, and we will take it under, we heard what you said, and we will look at
Okay.
it. But you should know that the vice chancellor for HR, the vice chancellor for finance also sits on there. So there's a lot of representation that covers some of these concerns,
Right,
and we have.
If I put that answer to chairs and program directors, they,
And covers multiple layers, but we will look at it.
Okay.
And we have we will take a look at it.
would you get back to me with what you decide to do?
Sure.
Vice Chancellor Batista, I think it's more than taking it under advisement. I think you're hearing an expression of concern that certainly I would share, and I think other members would, which is saying, don't take it under advisement, listen to what the board members are saying and implement it. I'm speaking individually, but, the rest of the committee can certainly chime in.
I am hearing you, trustee, and I'm saying to you that we hear what you're saying, and we will make the adjustment.
Well, that's
That's
a
better.
clear answer, thank you.
Thank you.
If I wasn't clear enough, we will make,
Thank you.
I meant to say we'll take it under.
Right.
It's the
That's a
same,
clear
in my view, it's the same thing, but we will definitely hear you, we heard you.
Thank you. Trustee Berzani.
Well, I don't know if I need to say anything. You said you're going to make the adjustment, or you're going to take it under advisement. I heard both things, and they mean different.
We will make the adjustment.
We will take yes as an answer.
I'm just going to remind one of the
Nice
things,
idea.
one of the few things I remember from maybe 12, 15 years ago when CUNY first was rolling out, that the head of HR said in a meeting that the cheapest form of labor in CUNY was department chairs reassigned time. And the department chairs, and I was one at the time, ended up doing way more work than I signed on for to do simple tasks, because that was the easiest thing for the
Second only to
VC
trustees. I would say.
VC trustees, for VCs to make decisions on. So what I think is being asked here is that someone who might actually get the burden of the work pushed on them would actually have the ability to kind of steer that before decisions are made that adversely affect the sort of faculty and particular chairs and program coordinators.
Okay.
We heard you loud and clear.
Anyone else? Then I would just add one small, maybe not so small thing. Can you give us some idea? I know this contract hasn't been signed yet, so there are a lot of parameters of this that have yet to be defined, but do we have an idea? One, do we have an idea of what the timeline is for moving on this? And two, will you make that known to the subcommittee when you have that information?
Well, right now, we're still negotiating the contract.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to answer that question
I
right.
presume you have timelines, though, that you're planning for.
Timeline somewhat, I'm sorry, be a little bit more clear.
How you would like to implement this this ERP?
We have a timeline, once we have the contract, how we like to implement it. Yes, that's correct.
And then once you
And we
sign-
presented that timeline to the board.
Yeah, and once you sign that contract and it comes into much clearer focus, we'll get back to the board and let them know we're on this, we're on track here. Hmm?
I think that was the plan. The plan was to come in front of this committee and give updates.
Great. Is there anyone else? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. To discuss item 2B, we'll need to go into executive session. In accordance with sections 105A of the New York State Open Meetings Law, accordingly, I move that we go into executive session. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive session.